All right. Um, Welcome to the class. Let me find out if you guys can hear me. Say, all right. Thank you very much, Miss Oma. You can hear me. All right. Um, it's a beautiful Wednesday morning, and today's class is going to be as exciting as other classes because what we are treating today has been the problem, the challenge of many students who, who speak in English, who use English, all right, Nigerian speakers of English. What we are going to discuss today has been their challenge. Today we'll be talking about the verbs, how not to misuse verbs, how not to combine verbs with prepositions, how not to treat verbs when it occurs in some positions in questions, all right, in expressions that you make use of every day. As I normally tell you when we come to class, this class, what we are treating here is not only for you to pass the forthcoming exam, but also to be grounded in English. Whether you're going to study law, you're going to study medicine, you're going to study computer science, you're going to study engineering, you're going to study accounting, or you're going to study in education, any field at all you are going to study, you will find yourself using English. All right. So this is a training. This class I'm giving to you is a training ground for you to be grounded in the use of standard British English. As I normally tell you, Nigerian English is a reality. It exists. American English is a reality. It exists. British English is a reality. It exists. The type of English that is required of you as a candidate for JAM is standard British English expression, which oftentimes may not sound correct. The sentence structure may not sound correct. The language use, the construction, the word, the spelling, everything may not appear to be correct to you, but that's exactly what your examiner wants you to write and, of course, speak. So it's a formal English. It's an official English expression that you have to learn both to speak and to write. Okay? So we've been looking at common usage errors of the word classes of English. As I said, today is the third topic, the same topic, but the third part of it. By next week, Monday, we are going to complete it. When we complete it, the next topic we are going to treat is going to be spelling. And that spelling, you have a lot of work to do. I'm going to give you a prepared question that JAM has been using. All right, you're going to attempt those questions. And when you get them correct, you can beat your chest. You can go to this exam confidently and know that you're coming out of it in flying colors. All right. So today we'll be moving on very quickly. Let me share my screen so that we can move along. So yes, you can see my screen now. You can see my screen. We are looking at verbs in English. Of course, as you know that a verb is a word or group of words that denotes an action or a state of being. There are mistakes you make in English when you use English sentences that we are going to correct, because the person who set the question in English for JAM knows. The person knows that you don't understand the correct usage. That is the reason you have wrong options. A, B, C, D. One of it is wrong. One is going to be a Nigerian typical way of speaking in English. Number two, option two, is going to be American way of speaking in English. And the number three option is going to be the British way of speaking in English. Then the fourth one is going to be the wrong one. So how do you now identify the correct one? The correct one may be Nigerian, the correct one may be American, the correct one may be British, the wrong one is always there. So between the three correct usage, is only one that is correct. Do you understand? I'll repeat what I said. In all the options you're going to see, whether it's sentence interpretation, whether it's oral English, phonetics and phonology, whether it's lexis and structure, whether it's nouns usage or adjective usage, all right? Whether it's the use of verb and all. In all the options you're going to see, except questions coming from Khadija Abubakar's The Life Changer, all right? Good. Every other option you're going to see in your exam in English, number one, there's going to be a Nigerian English expression as an option. Number two, there's going to be an American English expression as an option. Number three, there's going to be a British English expression as an option. And number four, there's going to be the wrong option. It's going to appear in terms of spelling, in terms of sentence interpretation, in terms of figurative expression, in terms of idioms, in terms of synonyms, antonyms, and so on. So expect all of this. What I'm doing with you is that I'm taking out my time to really teach you this so that forever, if you know this, forever, you'll be using it. All right? After your exam, you can continuously make use of expressions such as this so that you know when to say seeing, that you're not, the term seeing is not allowed in grammar. Hearing is not allowed in grammar because seeing, hearing, those are stative verbs. And the rule is that in stative verb, you don't add ing to stative verbs. In English, how many persons know this? That all stative verbs do not accept ing in them. Of course, there are verbs that accept ing, okay? So a verb is a word or group of words that denotes an action or a state of being. You can see that an action here is italicized. State of being is also italicized. The action can be physical. Example, write, sing, shout, or mental. All right? Example, think, hope, expect. The most frequently used state of being verb is be. This simple word, be, with the different forms. The forms of be, you have this am, is, are, was, were, be itself, being, and being. I explained the difference between being and being. This, B-E-E-N, the past participle form of this, B-E-I-N-G, being in the present participial. That is where you have B-E-I-N-G. And in the present participle, remember, don't forget, I didn't say the same thing. I said present participial, that's B-E-I-N-G, and past participle, all right, B-E-E-N, okay? Some others appear, become, feel, grow, look, remain, seem, smell, sound, and taste. Now, what are the forms that verb come in? All right, there are different forms that verb come in. English verbs have the following 5 forms. You need to take note of it. The base or the infinitive, the third person singular, present tense, the past, all right, the perfect, which we refer to as ED2, and the progressive. all right, which refer to as participia, the progressive, what you call continuous tense, all right, continuous tense, all right, ing is progressive, okay? The way these forms are realized depends on whether the verb is regular or irregular, all right? So take a look at this. Now, this is the base, what you can say present tense, and you have this present participial, all right? And you have this past participle and also past participle and present continuous tense, which is also known as progressive. So here we have an example, answer in the present, answers, and then answered. Here is also answered. And here you have answering. You have stop, stops, stopped, stopped, and stopping. Eat, eats, ate, eaten, eating. Hit, hits, hit, hit, and hitting. Take, takes, took, taken, taken. Remember, I explained to you in one of our classes the difference between a verb with S and a verb without S, and then a verb with ing. Their difference, okay? I talked about their differences, and I made you to understand that answering, for this example, answering is in the present. Answers is also in the present, all right? But the two verbs, the two actions are not the same. For example, I am teaching. The lecturer is teaching now, meaning that the teaching has a time duration, all right? It has a time it will elapse. It's going to end. So any activity that takes ing, any verb with ing, all right, is those activities that have time limit. It's going to stop at a certain time. But the ones that have s in them, okay, which we refer to as present participia, okay, those ones occur frequently. You cannot really say they have a time they're going to end, or rather their time is longer than actions with ing. All right, so if I say the man Mesama writes every day, Mesama eats every morning. You see, eats every morning. So it means every morning that action of eating has to happen. Mesama eats every morning. Joy sings every Sunday, or Joy sings on Sundays. Joy sings, meaning it's an activity she has to do, all right? She has to carry out every now and then, okay? Now look at the functions of verb. The functions of verb. Let me bypass this. You can read it up on your own. What do verbs do? Auxiliary verbs, as tiny as the okay, let me just run through it. Where I want to really go to are the usage errors. The errors you commit when you speak in English, hoping that yes, you've spoken, good English, unawares that what you are saying is blunder. When you pick such options in exam, you get it wrong. You most likely already know much about the way verbs work in sentences and how they combine. So this section will be very brief. As I said, the basic function of a verb is to predicate, all right? That's to say something about the subject of the sentence. In typical WAEC exam, all right, WAEC exam in English, we ask you the grammatical name of an expression and the grammatical function, all right? Verbs helps you to dictate that and to know that each of the 5 forms of the verb, all right, that we have mentioned also relate to function and time. Action verb, sometimes in combination with auxiliary verb, Auxiliary verbs are those helping verbs, those tiny verbs that can cause failure. Example, is, are, was, were, do, all right, has, have. You don't know how to use those verbs to determine. We discussed that when we were talking about Concord, all right, subject verb agreement. So we also call auxiliary verb helping verbs. Okay, they tell us whether the action is viewed as completed and isolated in the past. 2, completed but relevant to the subsequent time. 3, in progress at a particular time, past or present, or yet to take place. All right, or yet to take place. Look at the example. He killed the snake. The action has happened. The burglars had left before the police arrived. Okay? She has repaid the loan. Amina was sleeping when I arrived. You are reading this book now. I will write a letter tomorrow. The event has not happened. All right? The event has not happened. So take note of this. There are 2 subclasses of auxiliary verbs in English, namely primary, have, be, do, and modal, can, will, shall, may, must, ought to. The verb can occur by itself in the sentence or can be preceded by one or more, all right, but not more than 4 auxiliary verbs. Not more than 4 auxiliary verbs. Now, this is where it's going to be more interesting. Common usage errors of verbs. If there's any problem since I started teaching English that I encounter with students, is this part we are going into. Students don't know how to place verbs in English. That's why you will hear somebody say, I went to go and buy something. How can you went and go at the same time? All right? I went to go and buy something. Come back and come and tell us what you were doing. You hear expressions such as that. Come back and come and tell us what you were doing. Or yeah, come here and come and explain yourself. How do you talk that way? Or yeah, come here and come and explain yourself, right? The following are common errors you should watch out for as you use verbs in English, as you talk every day, as you write, okay? Whether you're writing for JAM, you're writing WAEC, you're writing IELTS, you're writing SAT, you're writing GRE, you're writing GMAT, any exam that English is involved, watch out for this. Even as you discuss, as you interact with your friends, do not make these mistakes. Do not commit these errors. 1, the addition of ing to state of being verbs. I've said that before. Verbs that denote states rather than action should not occur with ing. Let these things I'm saying sink right deep into you. That is the reason you always get these slides after each class. Verbs that denote states rather than action should not occur with ing. This is because ing means action in progress. So it is contradictory to indicate action in progress where no action at all is taking place. Look at the following examples. These examples are grammatically wrong, but sometimes you may not know because you're not conscious of that. These examples, we are not hearing you at the back, all right? Students talk like this. We are not hearing you at the back, sir. I am knowing you for the first time. I am not seeing the board clearly from here. Some of you you've used this expression before. You've heard somebody say this. Remember, you are still owing me 200 naira. The problem has been existing for 2 years now. All right? So these are grammatically wrong. These expressions, they are grammatically wrong, right? The last sentence should correctly read, the problem has existed for 2 years. The problem has existed for 2 years. Now, should I correct this? You may be wondering, okay, what was the correct answer? What should it be? We are not hearing you at the back, sir. Should be, we can't hear you at the back. We can't hear you at the back. I am knowing you for the first time. Should be, I've known you for the first time. You know, it does not sound correct. That's the reason I told you that standard British English oftentimes don't sound correct. I've known you for the first time. This is the first time I will see you. All right, that's when you're meeting someone for the very first time. Okay. I am not seeing the board clearly from here. Should be, I can't see the board clearly from here. Remember, you still owe me 200 naira. All right. Remember, you still owe me 200 naira. Not remember, you are still owing me 200 naira. Okay. So, I've corrected the expression. So from today, moving forward, never you say hearing. I'm not hearing you, sir. I am knowing you. All right. I'm seeing you. I'm seeing you from here. Hey, I'm seeing what you're doing. Oh. That's a wrong English expression. It's grammatically wrong. The man is owing me. That woman is owing my mommy. Nobody is owing you anything. Somebody only owe you. Oh, you have owes, owed. O-W-E, O-W-E-S, O-W-E-D. All right, so take note of that. Now, the last one we said, the problem has been existing for 2 years, should rather be the problem has existed for 2 years. Why? We are saying this because these words are stative verbs and ing is not meant to occur in them. The use of transitive verbs intransitively. All right, students use transitive verb intransitively and it's wrong. Okay, so transitive means to go across. It's not an English word, it's Latin. Transitive means to go across. An intransitive verb, on the other hand, does not carry action over from the subject to the object. Instead, the action of the subject is upon itself. As a result, an intransitive verb occurs without an object. Take note. An intransitive verb occurs without an object. But in transitive verb, the action of the subject is transferred to an object. Okay? The verb is transferred. Once you hear action, think about verb. So the action is transferred to an object by or from the subject. Look at examples of transitive verb. The boy killed the snake. The boy is a subject. Killed is the action, which is the verb. The snake or snake is the object. Who received this action of killing is the snake. So the action is transferred to the snake. The police arrested the criminal. The action of arrest was carried on the criminal. Dad bought a car. The action of buying was carried on a car. The gas caught the thief, and so on. Look at intransitive. Intransitive, the action remains with the subject. The action is not transferred. The man died. The baby was sleeping. The moon disappeared behind a cloud. The prisoners escaped. Okay, so take note of that. Note, however, that many verbs may be transitive in one sentence and intransitive in another sentence. Example, mom is cooking dinner. Transitive. Ade is reading a novel. Transitive. I could not see the alterations. Transitive. The student returned the book. Not the student returned the book back, or the student returned back the book is wrong grammatically. Now look at intransitive. Mom is cooking. Ade is reading. I could not see. Dad returned home. All right. So, and so on and so forth. So take note of that. Now look at this. There are a handful of transitive verbs objects are omitted. Okay, the mandatory objects. These verbs include appreciate, assure, discuss, disturb, enjoy, hold, pick, prostrate, resume, and round off. Okay, round off. I need you to pay attention to this because where you find this mostly is in JAM, lexis, and structure. Sentences constructed, and you will be asked to pick the option that completes the sentence, that fills the gap, and then completes the sentence. All right. So these verbs you're looking at, appreciate. You know, somebody, you did something for somebody, and the person wants to show appreciation. You often hear them say, thank you, I really appreciate. Have you heard that before? You say, I appreciate. All right. I assure that the government will do something. You see, about you, which is wrong. All right. And so on. Now look at these sentences I've written here. I said that the following sentences are all wrong because these verbs occur in them without objects. So there should be an object. Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate. That's what I. Thank you very much. I appreciate. You appreciate what? Okay. What do you appreciate? So these verbs should have an object. I appreciate you. I appreciate your kindness. I appreciate your hospitality. I appreciate your humanity. I appreciate your help. I appreciate your assistance. You understand? There should be something you appreciate. Number two, the principal assured that the matter will be looked into. Sometimes you hear this English expression from educated people that human beings who have gone to the university or even studied English or have PhDs and all are speaking this way does not make it correct. It does not make it grammatically acceptable. The principal assured that the matter will be looked into. All right. This word assured is an object. The principal assured the people. The principal assured the students. All right. Now look at the third one. I met him and we discussed for a long time. Tell me that you've not been speaking this way. All right. This is the way you talk. I met him and we discussed for a long time. What were you discussing for a long time? What is it? So this verb you have used here renders this sentence grammatically incorrect. I met him and we discussed for a long time. This expression is in need of an object. So you have to insert an object here that I'm pointing at before the preposition for. Go away from here. You are disturbing. You often talk like this. Go away from here. You are disturbing. Why are you disturbing? Why are all of you disturbing? You hear people say that. Why are you even disturbing? You are disturbing. The right thing should be you are disturbing the class. You are disturbing the meeting. You are disturbing the conference. You are disturbing the environment. You are disturbing the children. You are disturbing the atmosphere. All right? If you work hard, you will enjoy in the end. Enjoy what? Okay? Enjoy what in the end? The lecture did not hold. Which lecture did not hold? All right? So there is need for an object. I called her mobile phone several times, but she did not pick. Pick what? I called her several times, but she did not pick. Pick what? Okay? Children must prostrate before their elders. Okay? Why should children prostrate? It should be children must prostrate themselves before their elders. We resume at 8 o'clock every work day. What do you resume? Let us round off by summarizing the main point. You hear all of these grammatical blunder every day. Let us round off by summarizing the main point. What are you rounding off? Okay, there should be something you are rounding off. All right. Okay, so children must prostrate themselves before their elders. That should be the right thing. Now let's move on quickly because of our time. Number 3, the redundant insertion of prepositions between transitive verbs and their grammatical objects. I'm begging you, in the name of anything you like, in the name of anything you believe in, after this class, if you have not been reading the slides sent to you, read this one, read it in depth, read it over and over and over. Ensure you internalize every message I have dropped in this material. Read it, I'm begging you. Okay, so let's move on. Look at this. Don't ever insert a preposition in all of these verbs you're looking at on the screen now. Do not. It will render them ungrammatically. It will render them grammatically unacceptable. Ordered for. I've explained that before. Ordered for. You don't order for anything. Request for. You don't request for anything. Demand for. You don't demand for anything. Advocate for. No. Highlight on. Hit to. Stress on. No. Lament on. No. Voice out. No. Air out. No. Span over or span across. No. Book for. No. Contest for. No. Emphasize on. No. Contemplate on. No. Seek for. No. Solicit for. No. Consolidate on. No. Discuss about or discuss on. No. Deny of. No. Ask from. No. And scale over. No. Typically, you will hear, or of course, you hear Nigerian users of English say, I was contemplating on what to do. That's wrong. You were contemplating what to do. Take away the preposition on. All right? I was contemplating what to do. That's English. Not I was contemplating on what to do. All right? You hear somebody say, the woman was advocating for change. No, the woman was advocating change. The lawyer was advocating change. Okay? I was contesting for the presidency. You were contesting the presidency. Now look at ordered for. I ordered for Uber. You did not order for Uber. You ordered Uber. I ordered Uber. All right. Look at requested for. I requested for that money, but she did not bring it. You requested the money. You requested the money. Look at demand for. Say, I demanded for an explanation. I demanded for immediate refund. No, you demanded explanation. So take note, you demanded explanation. As I've said, these prepositions, these verbs I've written here do not attract prepositions. All of the prepositions I've inserted here are wrong. So don't use these expressions this way. Use them without prepositions. The company ordered for more equipment. Wrong. Jenna requested for more items. Wrong. The family demanded for their own share of the proceeds. Wrong. The study spans over a 5-year period. Wrong. The bridge spans across the river Niger. Wrong. We were advised to book for hotel accommodation in advance. Wrong. I sat there and contemplated on what to do next. Wrong. This year, the company is consolidating on its gains of last year. Wrong. Kindly allow me space in your widely read newspaper to voice out my views. Wrong. Permit me to air out my opinion. Wrong. The burglars escaped by scaling over the fence. Wrong. So all of the prepositions I've attached to these verbs, and I've told you they are wrong. Please take note. do not use them. Do not pick up sentences or options that have this preposition. The next one is the use or misuse of phrasal verbs. Right? The misuse of phrasal verbs. You know, when you misuse phrasal verbs, you misunderstand them. A phrasal verb is a combination of a lexical verb and one or two prepositions or adverbs. Okay? These are all phrasal verbs. Round up is different from round off. Okay? To round up means to arrest, to bring together. Okay? To make a whole number. That's the meaning of round up. Round up. Now, cave in means to collapse. Round off means to conclude. Say, round off the meeting. Round off the class. Take note. Hang out means to distribute. Okay? Put up with means to tolerate. Give in means to succumb. Lie low means to hide. Give up means to abandon. Look down on means to despise. Turn down means to reject. Do away with means to discard. So take note. So do not misuse phrasal verbs. All right. The misuse of phrasal verb falls into 4 categories: the substitution of wrong particles for the right ones, the redundant insertion of particles, the omission of particles, and the omission of the lexical verb itself. Okay, look at substitution of wrong particles. The anniversary celebration was rounded up with a cocktail. Can you see? Rounded up instead of rounded off. If you say the anniversary celebration was rounded up, it means it was arrested. Okay? But rather, it was rounded off. The women refused to take the matter lying low. Rather than saying lying down, you say lying low. He has handed over the management of his shop to his son and now only puts up an appearance once in a while. You cannot say puts up an appearance. All right? You know the meaning of put up now. That put up means to tolerate. You cannot say the woman is tolerating an appearance or something. You should be put in an appearance. All right? So our time is fast spent. You're going to get this slide, and when it gets to you, I beg you again and again and again and again and again, read it. Read it. There are 20 slides. Read it. You're going to see detailed information in the other parts that time has not allowed us to treat. But please take your time to read it. Those verbs I've told you not to insert prepositions. Please do not insert prepositions in them. If you see any option that bears that preposition, do not pick it. Pick the option without a preposition. Okay? So on Monday, we'll treat the last part of this. After that, we'll now move on to spelling. So get yourself ready. There are a lot of exercises you're going to engage in. Thank you very much. See you next.